I don't know if we're live yet, so I'm just going to start talking. I'm waiting for this to pull up. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is proposals and how to build high quality proposals that are going to convert at a much higher rate than hopefully anything that you've been sending in the past. And what I want to do is take a few moments, walk you through the process that I follow for my kind of end-to-end sales at the agency. Then I want to take a moment and actually run through a live proposal, and then give you tips on how to build proposals the way that we do, and then also give you guys special access to our actual proposal template that you guys can take and use on your own. So I'm sharing my screen now. I'm going to move my questions over here so you guys can fire away. Like I said, if you got some, let me just leave a comment. Drop me some love. Extra ease on there. Okay. So what I want to start by talking about is the proposal process that I follow, that we follow at the agency. Basically what we use every day when we get these leads. And also, by the way, this deck, as you can see, we've got over 220 slides in here right now and growing. This is from our sales module within the blueprint. We just launched it. It's got a ton of different lead generation tactics, including the exact advertising strategy that we use, that you guys are constantly seeing, that I'm sure you're seeing a lot of if you're watching this video, because we advertise like animals. It's got all that. It's got our strategy. It's got how to execute the ads, but it's also got some other lead generation tactics in there as well, as including some cold outreach stuff that we're doing, but then also how to sell, how to have good conversations, how to have consultations, how to build proposals, and how to ultimately contract, and then all of the templates in between. So again, what I want to start by talking about here is just the overall agency sales process. And this is important because we're very specific about it. If you go to our website, any of our websites, so I have a couple of websites right now that are driving leads to our agency. Our main one is just weverse.org. I also have ryanwashere.com. That's my personal consulting website. But if you come to our websites, there's no phone numbers on here. There's no email addresses. There's no way to get in touch with us aside from our contact page or our get started pages, as we like to call it. It's what's on the blueprint as well. And the reason is because we want them to go through our process. We want them to be funneled into our automation solutions, into our CRM. And if they're emailing you and they're calling you, then it's difficult to track those things. And it might sound small, right? But it's very, very much a pain in the ass to take someone from an email or a phone call and have notes, especially if you got multiple people in your agency fielding all these questions. I just like to streamline it. So the only way that you can get in touch with us or work with us is through our contact page. Once you hit that contact page, you're telling me, what you're interested in, your website URL, your email. After you submit this form, you get sent to Active Campaign. That's our email automation sequence. And from there, what we're doing is we're sending you emails saying, hey, if you haven't yet booked a time on our sales team's calendar, which is myself, here's a link. And then basically what we're doing is we're running that email automation until they click that link to book. It's just the Calendly link. Once they hit that Calendly link, they then get sent a questionnaire that helps me to pre-qualify people, just to make sure that they're serious, that they have the budget, and that they're ready to hire an agency now, and that they're not going to get on a waste of time. So that's the lead process, right? That, again, all of our marketing process leads up to this lead right here. Everything we're doing on Facebook, everything we're doing with content, SEO, podcasting, it's in the hopes of turning someone into a lead. Once they become a lead, once they go through that contact page, we then push into the consultation process. So like I said, they hit the contact form. They are then, Brian just asked, did you leave your other company from the future? I did leave the other company from the future a couple months ago, actually. Keep asking questions, though, because I'm watching both. I can do both. I can present and answer at the same time. I don't mind being interrupted. So again, after they become a lead, what happens is that they then get pushed into the consultation process. So again, we're using Calendly as a scheduling tool. They fill out a questionnaire. It asks them about their business, what they've done for marketing, how much they're investing, et cetera, et cetera. And that's driving to a consultation on my calendar. That consultation is very important. During that consultation, what I'm trying to do is a couple things. Number one is I have a Zoom call. I make sure that they know that it's a Zoom call and that I prefer them to be at their computer in a quiet space so we can turn on our cameras and talk to each other like we'd be sitting across from a table. That's number one. So I like to use these consultations to build rapport, right? To build a relationship with this person, because at the end of the day, we're taking people who have never met you before, cold from the internet, and pushing them and trying to get them to pay us a lot of money for something. And we have to build a relationship with them, because at the end of the day, people do business with people that they like. And if I put in the time to build some sort of rapport and connection with that person, and I'm pitching against another agency who's qualified as well, smart people get results, etc., just like us, then that little bit of connection that I built with that person is going to go a very long way into helping them select us over another company. So the consultation process, like I said, it's usually a 15 to 30-minute call. I'm asking them open-ended leading questions. And again, guys, I have all these laid out here in the blueprint, the exact process. I'll just show you some of these slides so you can see the exact consultation. I'm giving you all the pitches, etc. You can go back and pause that if you want, but you're not going to get it in the blueprint training. I literally lay this out step by step, exactly how to have the consultation, the exact questions to ask, how to ask leading questions to get them talking, and then how to get them to say to you, okay, Ryan, this is great, send us a proposal, right? So that's the goal of the consultation process. The goal of the consultation process is not to sell them. It's not to tell them how great we are, because if you're doing good marketing, they already know how great you are. That's why they submitted the lead. That's why they filled out a long form, because they're interested in working with you. We don't have to sell them on us anymore at this point. What we want to do is we want to ask them the right questions, get them to self-diagnose a lot of the issues that we're going to sell them. So if you're selling them SEO, I like to ask them questions that I know are going to come back and answers that are going to result in them saying, yeah, we do have issues with this. Send us a proposal on how you can fix that, right? So we want them to tell us about these issues. It's kind of like, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to get your better half, I should say, my girlfriend's watching this, to do ultimately what you want to do, then you have to kind of let them arrive at that decision on their own. It's much better than you being like, no, babe, we're going to the movies tonight. Instead you ask them leading questions to get them to the point, or the restaurant that you want to go to get them to the point where they suggest that. Because if they suggest it, it's a done deal. But if you have to be like, hey, let me send you a proposal, you want a proposal, then ultimately they're gonna be like, hey, pump the brakes a little bit here, man. We just met each other, right? I'm not ready for that. So, and you can excuse this red bar. I just actually realized that this was up here. Just ignore that. This is for the presentation that we do within the blueprint training. So that's the consultation process, right? Again, what we want to do, the goal here is to verbally get them to commit to an RFP. We want them to request a proposal from us. That's the goal of the consultation. So after the consultation process, then we move into the proposal process. But before I do that, what I like to do is I like to send them a pricing quote. And that pricing quote is in a spreadsheet. Again, there's a YouTube video that I have on this about how we use the pricing template. There's a free template within the blueprint training that you can check out. Let me just pull up over here at the bottom so you can see what this looks like roughly. So this is basically a copy and paste version of it. It's built in Google Sheets, but what I do is before I send them this proposal, and don't worry, I'm gonna get to this proposal in a second. Before I send them this proposal, I want them to understand how much it's gonna cost. And that's important because, again, when you get to this point here, where they've seen a bunch of your marketing stuff, they've seen your ads, they've seen your case studies, they know that you're a good fit. Then you've had a conversation with them, you've built some rapport, you've asked them some leading questions, you get the conversation going. The kind of thing, the biggest thing that's going to hold them back at this point is pricing, right? So we want to get that pricing in front of them ahead of time before we put all this time and effort into building a proposal. So it's a small step that will get buy-in from them and their team ahead of time before you send them a huge proposal that takes you, a week to build. So it's a very small change that I learned while building agencies, that, the biggest rejection at this point, because again, they've already seen all your stuff, they know who you are, they know you're great, they probably want to work with you. But if your pricing is way over what they're expecting and you put time together for a proposal, you're just never going to hear from them again. So I basically put this together for them. I send it to them with a Loom video just like this that says, hey, just wanted to run you through again, I have these exact videos done for you in the blueprint training, but just introduces them to what they're looking at, what our hourly rate is, how we price this out, and just going through why I'm recommending these things. So for example, why am I giving them 15 hours in technical SEO in 2 months? Because I went through and I did some analysis, blah, 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 which I'm going to talk about in 1 second. So that's the pre-proposal process right there. That's where I'm going through. And again, I'm pricing things out. And then I go through and build a proposal. After I build a proposal, then I send the contract, and then we move into the onboarding, right? So this is the overall sales process, from marketing to becoming a marketing lead, to having a consultation, to getting pricing done, sending them a proposal, and then ultimately getting them into a contract, and then pushing them into the service delivery, the onboarding. So what I want to do now is just run you through this proposal process, because that's the topic of this conversation, right? I'm not here to show you anything else but just proposal process. So that's our process. Again, you've got your own thing. You can take some of that tips if you want, but what I do want to do is run you through an actual live proposal template that we have. Again, this is available to you guys within the blueprint, and exactly how to fill it out as well. So all you're looking at here is, first of all, just write an executive overview. This just goes through kind of an analysis of what you found. It helps to personalize this, because at the end of the day, this proposal is templated. About 59%, apologies, having issues with Google today. I don't know if you guys are too. I would say 59 to 70% of this, I'm just making this up out of my ass right now, is templated. So we do want to make sure that this is personalized. So again, apologies here with this stuff here. Somebody's effing with me, man. Who is it? Stop it. But basically the executive overview just goes through and again, kind of summarizes what we're going to talk about in the proposal. And after that, this is the big part here, the analysis. So this is really the chunk of what helps you to close more proposals. And a lot of agencies don't do this for whatever reason. It takes a lot of time, or they do it, but they didn't pitch the right things. The key here is making sure that we're going through and we're finding what I call areas of opportunity, right? You might also know them as issues, but I call them areas of opportunities. That small bit of framing from saying, hey, you have issues, to, hey, we found areas where we can grow your traffic. If we do these things, then you're going to grow, as opposed to being like you take your car to the mechanic and he's like, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken. You got to pay to fix it. And as opposed to them looking at it like a sunk cost, like, oh shit, I got to pay this money to fix this stuff. They're looking at it as, oh, I'm paying this, but I'm going to grow because of paying this. So small thing in verbiage there when it comes to how you're positioning your proposals that I just like to call them areas of opportunity. So basically what I'm doing is we built a very simple process. And again, process is laid out for you in the blueprint training, but it's between looking at a crawler. So using Deep Crawl or Screaming Frog or Sitebulb is awesome too, to do the technical analysis. So we bucket these things into four buckets, right? Technical, keywords and on-page, content, and links. So what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm running an evaluation, which we're actually using our offshore team for now, which is awesome, to find these areas of opportunity that we're building into this proposal that really makes up the meat of this proposal, so that prospect feels like we're speaking to them and that we're looking to, again, help them with their specific website, not just what we do. So if I'm just sending them a proposal that's like, here's SEO, here's keyword research, here's blah, 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 it's going to feel very impersonal, and we want to make sure that we're speaking directly to that prospect. And we did the time to go through that. And once you build this into a process, again, it's in the blueprint. Once you build out this process, you can crank up proposals much faster, as opposed to, taking a week sometimes to get these things out when you got a lot of stuff going on. Build the process, offshore a lot of this, and continuously kind of iterate on improving your process, so you're continuously finding good things. But again, basically what we're doing is we're looking for areas of opportunity that we know our services are going to deliver on. So for example, and again, just ignore this stuff here. If I'm finding areas of opportunity, if I'm looking at it saying, oh, you need help on social media, blah, 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 but we don't do social media, why would I even include that? So we're looking at things that are going to map directly to what it is that we are going to sell them ultimately. So those are the areas of opportunities that we're looking for. So here is just looking at website cleanups. So like, crap pages that they have, and Deep Crawl does a lot of this for you, Sitebulb too. Basically just extract those things and tell them why it's important. So you got thin pages. This is bad for Google search. We want to make sure that we're going through and we're cleaning these up. Next up, we found something along the lines of internal linking. After that is putting more attention on key landing pages. So this is where the keyword research, the on-page stuff comes into play. Content is another big one for us. So making sure that we're building out the proper content on the website. And then finally, link acquisition, right? So again, you can see how I just mentioned those buckets. I'm going through and I'm speaking directly to those buckets. I have in my mind the exact buckets that I want to solve. And then I'm just mapping those to the areas of analysis that I'm looking for. So it's very easy actually to find these things. If you're, a somewhat decent SEO, again, you just need kind of a checklist process to go through and find these areas of opportunity. So after that, the rest is templated. So all these solutions here are just so basically, if we're saying, hey, these are the areas of opportunity, now our solutions are, this is what you're going to pay us to fix. So you're paying us for these deliverables. You're paying us for project planning. You're paying us for analytics, search console, competitive analysis, website quality audit. This is actually our proprietary audit that we built. It's amazing. If you guys have questions on this specifically, we actually sell this as a one-off audit that you can check out. We automated through through BigQuery. It's really, really powerful stuff. We charge a lot of money to clients to run this, but you can white label it as your own. We don't give a shit. You just pay us to run it and you can call it your own. Keyword research, on-page, topical research, content strategy, link acquisition, and then monthly reporting and analysis. And then just goes into the campaign goals. We're just saying, again, so number one, hey, these are the areas of opportunity. We took the time, we found these things. Number two, hey, those areas of opportunities, this is exactly how we're going to fix them. These are the services that we're using to fix and improve on the things that we found. And then these are the goals for working with us. We want to increase your traffic for bottom funnel keywords, so your money keywords, whatever you want to call them. We want to increase your traffic for top funnel keywords using content. We want to increase your brand exposure through creating content and distributing it through link placement. So again, we're just using this to make sure that they understand exactly what it is that we're going to be striving towards every day when working with them. And then finally is pricing. So pricing, again, this was already done beforehand, so it's not a surprise. We're not getting sticker shock here. We're just basically putting this in writing. And this is important too. I'm not going to cover this here because I do want you guys to pay for the blueprint so you can get my pricing strategy, because it's really important, the things that I cover in here. But again, this is all in the blueprint. I talk about how to price campaigns, how to build hours around it, how to take that strategically and sell that to clients, how to make sure you're getting paid for links and content, because if you have to try and extract link building and content from here, you're not going to make that much money. So making sure that they are paying you for that as an expense fee. I talk about how you can do that. And then again, I showed this to you. This is just a monthly breakdown of the hours, our hourly rate, and then the monthly cost for that. And then the bottom is just how much it is. And then, of course, I want to make sure that they're being sold, because I know I told you before that in this part here that, hey, they already know who you are. They know case studies, but that might not be the decision maker, right? A lot of the times, if it's a bigger company, they have their marketing team doing the research, finding agencies, vetting them, and then the decision maker doesn't come in probably until the proposal process, right? So we do want to make sure that we're going through and we're really reiterating the importance of the work that we've done and how it's going to help them. So this just says, talking to a few agencies, awesome. We encourage that. We're competitive. We encourage that. We want you to talk to agencies because we believe in ourselves, and we know that if you put us head to head against other people, sorry, this is live. I shouldn't have said that. This is live. But I'm a competitive ass dude, and that's what I believe in. So we want to make sure that we're speaking to those things. Oh, garbage. Let me see if I can get me logged in here. Fill in. I'm having issues with this today. Anyways, point is that that's kind of the end of it. Anyways, I was just going to show you the 3 things that I put there for why you should work with us. Our number 1 is our reviews. We have stellar reputation. I then link out to our Google and our Facebook reviews, and also some testimonials that we have online. Number 2 is we build our own tools. We've got an awesome team, really smart people, technical. We're able to build our own software internally. You get access to all that as a client. And then number 3 is expertise and authority, right? We've been featured here. We've been featured there. We've been recommended by all these people. Here's our references. So that's our proposal process in a nutshell. I then send that to them afterwards. As I said, I send the proposal, but if I'm sending a proposal, and this is maybe some of the clickbait on this video here, is that if I'm sending a proposal, it has 100% close rate, because I've already gotten them to say yes based on the pricing. And a lot of the times too, I'm not even sending proposals. We're probably only sending proposals like maybe 40% of the time for closed clients, because I send them the pricing document, and I don't say, hey, here's a pricing document, say yes, and then I'll send you a proposal. I say, this is what it's going to cost. These are the initiatives. Let's jump on a call and let's talk about it. So I'm having another touch point with them to talk about the pricing, to answer any questions. And I'm beating back the objections that I know that they're going to have. My salespeople are trained on that as well. And then after that, if they say, hey, we need a proposal, then I'll put together, I make them ask me for a proposal, as opposed to me saying, I already did this work. Let me do more work for you for free. No. If they request a proposal, awesome. Of course, we've got this template done. All we're doing is really transferring information in there as well. But a lot of the times we're just closing contracts off of the pricing document that we've sent and the conversations that we've had. So something that I didn't mention too is, this is kind of, I gave you the beginner process. If you really want to close people, you can actually close people on the phone, but you've got to do a little bit more work up front. So basically, like I said, they become a lead, they get put on my calendar, they answer those questions. So I have a good amount of context for what it is that they're looking for, because they filled out a questionnaire. I just do some research. I put their website into Ahrefs and a deep crawl before I have the consultation with them. So I come to them with 2 to 4 things in my mind that are already areas of opportunity. So in the proposal, I like to get like maybe 5 to 10 things. We call it the top 10 internally. But for the consult, they'll come up with a few things to just be like, hey, I'm prepared. I know your website. I know your industry. I know exactly what needs to be done to get you more traffic. And then after that, they just basically need to ask me for what it costs. I send them the pricing, and that's that. A lot of times we're just closing them from there. So I've got a question over here from Ronan. You said, can you quickly go back over the first time they see the pricing? Are you sending it along with the email pitch? Yeah. So basically, I'm sending the pricing before the proposal, right? So like I said, they become a lead. We have a consultation. After the consultation, again, I let them ask me for a proposal or for pricing after that. And then what I'm doing is I come prepared, right? Again, we have the sales script within the blueprint where at the end of the call, I'm saying something along the lines, I won't give you all my secret sauces here, but something along the lines of, here's what you can expect next. I always have this call to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. I want to make sure that you are a good fit for us, just like you want to make sure that we are a good fit for you. I'm very adamant about that. I'm very adamant about, I don't want to say being elitist, but being to letting them know that we're a top agency and we are we work with clients that we want to work with because we're in high demand. That puts a little bit of pressure on them to want to work with us. I'm telling you, it might sound stupid if you've never done it before, but it works. It's the same reason why people put countdown tickers on landing page. They say we're closing the doors in a week. That sense of scarcity, that sense of urgency really drives a lot more action on behalf of the lead. So to answer your question, Ronan, sorry, after the consultation, that's when I am putting together that pricing template. That's a spreadsheet. I send it to them with an email. Again, I also record a video for them. As you guys can tell, I'm very big on video. I'm at my home office now. I just literally have a setup here where I can crank these things out. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. And that little bit, man, it goes a very long way. In Loom, which I use to record these, I'm using Zoom right now. It's confusing, I know. I use Loom to record my sales proposals, pitches. I can see how, when they've watched it, if they've watched it, and how much they've watched. So that information and data is good too for my follow-ups, because then I'm able to follow up and say, hey, I saw you watch the video. Do you have any questions? Let's get on a call. In the emails too, Ronan, this is important. The emails that you send should never just be, hey, just following up. It should be asking a question and driving some sort of action on their behalf. Because if you just say, hey, I'm just following up, then they're just going to ignore the email. It's very easy for them to ignore it. You need to drive that extra sense of, hey, I sent you the proposal. I saw that you watched the video. What do you think? Let's jump on a call to review it. Do you have time tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Like very specific like that. Something along those lines to really make them drive and push them, keep pushing them, because it's another big problem, a really big problem of sending proposals and then having them ghost. It still happens to us this day. Honestly, even after, I'm talking all this shit up here, but even after, somebody has gotten to this part and they've accepted the pricing, people still ghost. That's another thing too, is that I don't consider a contract closed not until they get a contract signed, because I have signed contracts from people who are not clients because they just ghost. They're free to ghost, and you're not going to sue them over a small contract like that until that money hits your account. Until you send the invoice after the contracting, before the onboarding, make sure you invoice before onboarding. Until that money is in our bank account and cleared after 3 days, they're not a client. They haven't been closed. So getting a request for a proposal is not a close. Sending a proposal and having them say yes is not a close. Sending a contract, having them sign it is not close. Sending an invoice is not closed. It is not closed until that money is in your bank account. That's when a contract is closed. So that's what I got here, guys. If you got any more questions over here on Facebook, well, you got me here. Let's talk sales. Let's talk proposals. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Again, just kind of go into a little bit more of a pitch while I'm here, is that this information is all in the blueprint training. We just launched a sales module this week, hence why we're talking about this. It has everything that you need to know, from how to acquire leads for your agencies to how to have proper consultations. So I give you the script, I give you how to prepare for it, I give you my exact process, my exact tonality, my exact questions for going through this, how to build pricing properly. And that includes how to build pricing based on where your agency is in terms of staff, if you're offshore, etc. Then the proposal process, going into detail on how we build proposals, how you can take that, replicate that. Again, all the templates are there done for you. Contracting, how to build a proper contract. I give you our legal agreement that we use, a template. And then of course, onboarding. We have a whole suite, a whole business in a box on onboarding and how to actually deliver the service. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I see Ronan came in again. When do you back down on a lead? One follow-up and leave them ghost, follow up a few months later, just give them. So actually, you know what, I can show you. So I don't want to show you this. So that's a good question. So I'm a very short fuse patient person. I actually think that it's the most disrespectful thing that you can do to another human being, to waste their time in the business world. So if you waste my time getting up here, you're dead to me. Like I have people, just one last week, who we thought was going to close for a good sized contract, good reputable company. they stopped answering my emails. And I just find that to be the most disrespectful thing that you can do. I would rather you spit in my face than waste my time. That's not an exaggeration at all. Like, wasting my time going through this process is months and hours to get somebody to the finish line, and for you to ghost at the end of it. I'll basically send, I mean, I'll keep following up, and just like, it's annoying to me when they ghost. So I will keep following up until they basically tell me to go fuck myself. Because if you've wasted that much of my time, you deserve to get spammed every day. Now, I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm obviously very emotional right now because this just happened to me. And it happens. I mean, it happens to everyone. It happens to the best of people, right? It's just a disrespectful thing that happens. So look, I'll say this too. Let me retract a little bit of that. Never burn a bridge, because I've had people that have ghosted and then come back a year later ready to pay. So never burn a bridge. Never be disrespectful. That's the other thing too, is that it might be disrespectful for them to waste your time, but never disrespect them back. Always be polite. Always be courteous. Always be professional. But there's nothing wrong with following up with someone continuously and incessantly. If you have put it, like, if you've put out a proposal to someone, they owe it to you to give you a no. It's on them. So make sure that you're following up. Don't feel bad about following up. You do not need to feel shy. And you need to follow up a lot, man. I mean, I look at it myself too. Like, I get pitched from a lot of different contractors and vendors, and sometimes it's interesting, and I'll entertain it. And then they'll email me and I'll ignore it because I'm busy. But if they email me again at the right time, then they've got me. So the other thing too, Ronan, is it's important to understand what that person's communication style is. Like, are they someone that wants to jump on the phone? Are they someone that is going to watch a video if you send it to them? Are they someone that just is cool with email? Do you have their phone number? Can you text them? Right. I think that, again, like I said, if you've only had a consultation with someone and they ghosted you, then, follow up 2 to 3 times and let it go. We also, so what we'll do too is we use something called Streak. I wish I could show you my Gmail, but for some reason Google hates me right now and they're kicking me out of everything. But basically we use Streak, which is a Gmail CRM, which will allow you to set reminders on an email to follow up in 6 months. So what we'll do is I will continuously follow up, and I will ask them to tell me no too. So the way I'll kind of tie a bow on it is I'll say to them, something along the lines of, hey, Steve, it's been a couple months now. I sent a bunch of emails. You haven't gotten back to me. We sent a proposal. I need to know if we should stop pursuing you, because right now you're wasting our time. So I will be direct with them. I won't be disrespectful. I'll tell them, you're wasting our time. Can you please owe us the professional courtesy of letting us know if we should stop chasing you? We put in the time, we gave you an analysis, we gave you a ton of work for free. Like, it's a yes or no. Just answer yes or no. And then I'll say, if it's a no, then, like, do you want me to follow up in 6 months? And almost 10 times out of 10, they'll say yes, follow up. And then what we'll do is within Streak, within the Gmail CRM, you just hit it with a tag that says follow up in 6 months. And then you'll get a reminder in 6 months to reply to that email. So there's tools and software that you can use. We also use Pipedrive, very simple, very basic CRM that we use to just track our deal flow. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, that is pretty much it. You all have any more questions for me? Got about 20 people here. Y'all are sitting there just quiet, huh? All right, so I'm gonna wait another 30 seconds. See if y'all want to chat. If not, y'all feeling quiet today, let me take a sip while I wait. Cool. I get 30 minutes back then. Y'all do too. I appreciate you tuning in and joining me. If y'all have any questions, as always, hit me up, join our Slack channel, join the Blueprint. And if you do, you won't regret it. And hopefully I'll see you in there. Peace out, y'all. Enjoy your Thursday.